You're listening to Oilers Nation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Oilers Nation Radio, episode 95,000. Bag Milk, Dan. Tyler is back. Oh, no, you were here last week, weren't you? No, you weren't.
First show back.
Tyler's back.
And I
Jay's
wasn't
sitting
here
in.
last week.
No Rick, no Liam. Liam is still gallivanting. I don't know where Rick is.
Our roster is all over the place.
Liam's in Paris. Rick is not in Paris.
Paris of Alberta.
Where is he?
Medicine Hat, Alberta.
That's where Rick is?
Well, he was there in the last few days.
He's on a little golf trip, I see.
He was golfing in Med Hat. The Hat, as they
I've
like
heard
to
it's a
call
good
it.
golf spot.
In the Hat?
Yep.
I had a cousin who used to play for the Tigers.
So did Tyler Ennis.
Well, he also used to work at Blockbuster, so there you go.
Former Oilers who were also Medicine Hat Tigers. Ennis, Pitlick, Russell,
Buns.
Buns.
Hey.
Good one.
That was a nice pull.
Thank you.
He had about 20 minutes of Oilers action there.
Buns of Steel.
Start off the podcast as we always do for our friends at Oodle Noodle. Try the hot box. It is spicy. It is wonderful. It is delicious. And if you want to see some of the staff here at Oilers Nation struggle with the heat, check out our social media accounts. It is very funny. Very, very funny. I also liked watching you use chopsticks for the first. Was that the first time?
I mean, like,
You did
kinda
not
yes,
bad.
kinda no.
I actually thought you did fine.
I've attempted it a few times and I just always get frustrated. I think being forced to do it for like an entire 5-minute segment actually got me like kind of in the groove.
It's like one of those things where once you get it, and you just can't believe you never
It's
knew
like
how
riding
to
a
do it.
bike.
Yeah.
I like riding my bike.
But remember when you couldn't ride your bike and how bad you were at it?
When was the last time you rode a bicycle?
2 days ago.
Oh,
I
well,
ride
there
it
you
to my ride it to my slow pitch games.
Oh,
Sometimes
He
if
rode
I'm-
to Seattle, didn't you know?
oh, good for
sometimes if I'm feeling like a nice treat in the evening, I will ride it and go get beers and then ride it home.
Smart.
you. Oh, nice.
What's
then
the
you're
treat
working it
there?
off.
The beer,
Okay.
but also the bike ride. It's the journey.
Do you have one on the way back?
Depends.
Oh, road pop.
Well, no, I'm not while I'm driving. I'm responsible.
That's a dangerous wobbly pop.
A bike?
Come on now.
It is true. If you do try to bike drunk,
Drinking while
Isn't it
biking.
wow, it's like you haven't ridden a bike before, or it's like you're back to square one.
Also, the idea of someone being like, "Hey, that's the Oilers Nation guy. It's 7:00 on a Thursday. Why is he drinking a Coors Light on his bike in the middle of St. Albert?" That's not a
AM?
look I love. Yep.
Listen, if it was AM, we'd have a problem.
So
At
you
PM?
go for your treat to get beer at 7 a.m. on your bike?
Yep.
He has to set up the rest of his day
First of
somehow.
all, no liquor stores are open at 7 a.m.
You're
Obviously 7 p.m.
he's obviously got an elite pro surf status.
That is true.
Correct.
Yeah. You going
If there
for
was
one of those?
points given out, I'd be racking them up.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So, anyways, I love riding my bike.
I might buy one, actually.
You should. It's a great way to get around.
They are.
Even just like sometimes I'll be sitting there and be like, I kind of got 20 minutes.
aren't
I'd
they
like to work
super
once in a
expensive right now though? Aren't
I think
bikes
it's
still?
I think it's
Oh,
normalized.
it's
Calm
coming
down.
back again.
I don't think it's that
Yeah,
crazy.
Mark's
Like
cool.
it was like crazy out of stock.
Yes.
Crazy. I think it's kind of.
I also was thinking about like, if I'm going to buy a bike, should I just buy a normal bike or should I save up a little bit more and buy an e-bike and then I could be a little bit lazier?
I don't think you're there yet.
Yeah, I don't think so yet either.
It's about the reason why I get on my bike. Like I'll like this. Well, actually, the last like 8 weeks have been terrible. But I was biking at least once a week to work, and it was great because like it's just free exercise. I raced my girlfriend home from work. It wasn't even a race. I just did my normal track. She left here in a car, and I biked and I beat her.
Wow.
No.
So yes, I beat her by like 3 minutes.
No.
Rush
How long-
hour on the way back.
how
Me
long
just
have-
cutting through River Valley trails.
Yeah. How long of a trip is it for you? Half hour?
On the way back, it is because it's uphill. On the way down, it's like 25, 26. It's amazing how much time you save.
That's crazy.
And it takes me 30 minutes to drive to work, which is crazy.
Yeah. If you think about the actual distance, because we live kind of similar, like where we live to where the office is, it's not far. You're at the mercy of traffic and lights and construction.
And a river.
Yeah, if we had Uber or helicopter, then you get here in
oh,
a minute.
Casual. For our friends at Oodle. Oh, by the way, speaking of Oodle Noodle, last night was Oodle Noodle night at the ballpark for Make-A-Wish. How did the home run derby go round 2?
I failed, but I have a beef. And it should actually be my cold performer.
Oh, you can save it.
Actually, I'm going to make it my cold performer. There's a beef, and it's not even, I'm speaking on behalf of the group of fellow home run derby-ists.
I didn't get to go to the Derby last night, but I've heard your complaints just through the ethos of the rest of the city.
And it wasn't me, because before I was even batting, everyone was complaining about the same thing. And then, whatever, we can talk about it.
We'll get there.
And I'm going to be calling out an Edmonton personality.
Yeah, you are.
I'd look over to my right now, and Waz is fucking... Tyler built a bunch of new chairs for the studio, and he's just got his leg up on one doing weird stretches right now. I caught you.
That's the thing. We need the office.
Feed off the furniture,
Waz. We need the office Waz ISOCAM.
A Waz
That's
ISOCAM
what I'm
would
saying.
be
We need
fascinating.
We talk about Waz, but people need to start experiencing Waz.
Waz cam on deadline day.
Shit. Anyway, for our friends at Oodle Noodle, try the hot box. It's delicious. Battle the heat with more heat. Fire with fire. That's what they say. Tyler, what do you got for delicious debate for us today?
Well, we actually got a couple pieces of news throughout the week here surrounding the Oilers. The first one being that Ryan McLeod signed a new deal, 2 years at a $2.1 million cap hit. So the question is he overpaid? Is he underpaid? Or is this just right for Ryan McLeod?
I'll go. I mean, the dream for me was to have it start with a 1, I think. But as more contracts started coming out via the arbitrator, like Philip Kirchev in Chicago, I was like, uh-oh. It's not going to be under 2. In fact, I was worried it was going to be 2.5 or higher. So to have it come in at 2 years, 2.1, I actually thought it was a fair deal, given what his peers are signing for, points per game relative to those guys and what their contracts were like. So I thought it was a fair deal. I like that there was a second year on it as well.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I have to give credit to people on this podcast. I'm not very good at the prediction stuff, but I feel like you guys were all around that 2.1 mark anyways, when you guys were predicting what the...
No. Ryan McLeod guesses. I have them written down.
Oh, perfect.
Let's go. What do we got?
Tyler, 2.35.
Okay.
Liam, 2.22. BM, 2.25. And Dan, 2.1.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Dan nailed it.
Wow. I'm not very good at that, though. I don't know. I just,
That's kind of weird because I think maybe you're tricking us there.
Oh, fair enough.
I think you honey dicked us there a little bit.
Honey dick.
Wanted us to
I
plug
honestly
guess.
thought both of those guys were going to have to wait until McLeod's arbitration, though. So
Yeah. And it's a good point. Like, again, you mentioned Kurashev BM. He got 2 years by 2.25.
Yep.
So 150K more than McLeod. He had 9 goals in 70 games last year. McLeod had 11 in 57. Yep. 2 more goals in 13 less games. Like, you go through the list. Yep. Even a guy like Trent Frederick in Boston, who kind of profiles in a similar way, right? He got 2.3 over 2 years. You look at Noah Cates in Philadelphia. Again, similar numbers to Kurashev, if I remember correctly. Noah Cates, 2 years by 2.6. You look at Pavel Dorofeyev in Vegas. He got he just got a 1 year deal, I think. Where's Dorofeyev? No, I'm thinking of someone else. I was thinking of Kurashev. Ignore me. Point is, a lot of guys got more than this, and they're guys who probably aren't as good as Ryan McLeod. So I think this is a bang-on deal. Underpaid.
Okay.
So, I'm with BM. I was hoping it would start with a 1. But then when you look at those ARB cases, for guys I have never heard of ever,
100%.
and I'm like, I think Ryan McLeod's a known quantity here. I think at 2.1 in comparison to that, outside of Trent Frederick, I've got a lot of respect for him because he brings a lot of intangibles.
But
and actually tangibles because you feel his fists.
I was going to say he has a little bit more of the physicality.
Right, so I can see that, like, being worth something. But the other guys, who the hell are you? And they're getting more than Ryan McLeod. So I guess now I could probably say slightly underpaid. Yeah.
What about the argument? So I did a reaction episode of Better Late Than Never when the contract got signed, and I was taking people's feedback via x.com. And just kind of getting some of the feedback from people. They go, how is it that the Oilers were comfortable? Tyler, I'm curious your take on this. How is it that the Oilers were comfortable at 2.1 on a multi-year deal for Ryan McLeod at 23 points, but not for Klim Kostin, who had 2 fewer points in the same amount of games? I think the same number of goals, 2 less assists.
It's a fair point.
It's not, though.
Well, I mean, McLeod had the gun to their head with the arbitration.
There's that. Also, centerman, worth more.
Yeah.
Penalty killer, worth more. More trustworthy player, worth more.
Younger?
I think they're about the same age.
I guess about Klim.
Klim can't kill penalties. Klim makes bad turnovers. Klim takes a lot of penalties.
Yeah.
My thought was also just, I'm curious to see what his shooting percentage looks like in Detroit because he shot just under 20% last year.
Yeah, like he did do his scoring in bunches. I love him. I wanted him back.
I love him.
$2 million for Klim Kostin. Zach McEwen signed for $775K. He doesn't have the
How dare you compare the two?
He doesn't have the offensive upside of a Costin,
Terrible.
but like if you want to add grit to your lineup, you can do it for $800,000, not $2 million.
But it's clean.
But if you had to choose between Kleem and McLeod, who'd you pick? It's a no-brainer.
Well, the reality is Costin should have been like a 1.25.
Should have been.
And that's, yeah. So like at $2 million, I love Kleem. $2 million, no. 1.25, yes. McLeod, 2.1, happy.
That's my point. We agree. We just agreed in a disagreement style.
I think Oilers fans just kind of fell in love with Kleem a lot, and it was understandable because he filled a spot that we were missing sorely. But I think McLeod is your future. He's your guy that is going to continue to fill in that back end of the middle where we are lacking past Nugent Hopkins.
I actually think these might be his last 2 years at Edmonton in like a twisted way because I'm like that high on him. I think he's going to pop, and I think it'll be a situation where it's like I loosely, again, not a direct comparison at all, but like think of Jordan Staal in Pittsburgh, right? Had a couple of like monster years. They won rings, and I was like, oh shit, this guy's got to go somewhere else. He's the lowercase Jordan Staal, where I think he's going to have a couple banging years as their third center, and then some team will be like, oh shit, that guy can actually be our number 2C, and we're going to pay him like it.
Pull a Sean Horkoff. And
why'd you laugh so hard at that, Jay?
Well, it's just they're two completely different hockey players. So,
smart defensively. I said lowercase. He's like never going to be that
one
good.
One is a mutant
obviously.
and plays extremely physical and like is just
but the
a force in the
scenarios,
playoffs.
Jay, the scenarios.
Twin towers in front of them in center.
Yeah.
Right?
Playing behind Crosby Malkin, playing behind McDavid Draisaitl. I think
Stahl's last year in Pittsburgh, just for funsies. 62
yeah.
games played, 25 goals, 25 assists, 50 points.
Yeah.
Same player.
What did I say? Did I say same player?
Rookie
I said,
season,
I
yeah.
said,
You did say lowercase same player.
I said
His
similar
rookie
situation.
season, Jordan Stahl had
comparable.
29 goals.
I'm with Tyler on this one. I think it's comparable. I don't think it's outrageous.
It's not outrageous. Oh, let's flip to Bouchard. Let's hear some outrageous stuff about Bouchard from Jack.
I'm just glad we have Jay
You know
on the
what?
podcast.
I can't wait to like at some point. You guys are gonna fucking see the light, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get
and you
there.
just wait till Ryan McLeod pops home 22 this year.
I'm happy. Hey, like, don't take my dislike for your comparison of Ryan McLeod to Jordan Staal as hate for Ryan McLeod. They're two different hockey players. I think the fact it's 2 years, there is that ability to pop off. I'm going to be like, holy shit, this is actually an insanely good deal. And yes.
And then some other team's going to pay him.
Risk and lose.
Just like what happened to Jordan Staal in Pittsburgh.
But the nice part about, so hang on a second.
This is what it's like.
And he's
when
going to
Rick
go
and I
reunite
fight.
with his brother on another team.
This is fun to watch.
They both have brothers in the NHL.
That's where the comparison is. Now we can say it's a comparison. Where's his fourth and fifth brother?
Stahl played 6 years in Pittsburgh before he moved on to Carolina.
How many years has McLeod played?
It'd be 6.
McLeod's like 3 now.
Yeah. One is a Viking.
There you go.
Ryan McLeod is
Jordan Stahl.
6'2".
Yeah. According to the NHL site. Yeah. Kelly Yamamoto is 5'11".
Jordan Staal is 6'4", so he's a little bigger. Ryan McLeod 6'2", 207.
207 once again.
If he's 207, like he needs to use a little more, in my opinion.
And he's got to shoot
He's
the
got
puck more.
speed.
He's got wheels
Yeah, he
like
skates better
crazy.
than Jordan Staal.
Yeah, great skater.
But like when you
Yeah,
think,
I agreed.
to me, it would be,
I'll agree when things are right.
I would love Jordan Stahl. I would love Ryan McLeod to pop off for 22 goals, but don't you think of him more of like almost like an Andrew Cogliano type, where all kinds of wheels, trustworthy, hands may be, you know.
That's a good comparison.
I'd say he has better hands than a Todd Marchand.
I said Todd Bouchard, but he was saying.
I said Cogliano.
And Cogliano. Cogliano was just all speed, all gas.
Yeah, that's true.
Gas and effort, forecheck.
I
He's
like
got a
that.
little bit more offensive upside.
Like,
Forecheck,
sometimes
backcheck, paycheck.
Ryan McLeod sometimes mistakes you for Nuge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what stylistically, like, kind of when he's carrying the puck, he's like hunched over like Nuge and kind of slithery a little bit. Like, there's some skill there.
Kind of like how sometimes when you're watching a game and Warren Fogle like is skating through the neutral zone and
Once
you're
you
like,
think it's McDavid.
you're like
Once
fucking
again.
right, it's Connor. You're
I
like,
know.
Okay, I was very scared to even say that out
No,
loud.
it's okay. It's a safe space.
Once
we
a
got
game-
blackout blinds now.
Once a game, I think it might be because of his number too. It plays a role, like the jersey might be folded. But yeah, I'm like, oh, McDavid's what? He's on the third line, and then it all breaks down around you.
I'm like, wait a minute, he ain't that thick.
Nope.
Todd Marchand only scored 20 goals once in his career.
Yeah, he was just.
For some reason.
Well, but he was during the era when those guys were just assigned to blanket the star player, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and not necessarily Marchand per se, but he was
what's
doing
the
that a lot.
comparable of 20 goals in 02? That's like a 30 goal score now, isn't it?
It's like Jordan Stahl. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Smaller, lowercase.
Tom Marchand is like, it's Ryan McLeod is Tom Marchand with hands.
I want to hear from you. Owen Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. What you thought of the Ryan McLeod deal. I was a little bit surprised how split it was, both on social and on the website. But
I feel like they could
it's
have
the way it
signed
goes.
him for 2 years at League Min, and there would have been those people on Twitter being like, couldn't get a third year. Jesus,
100%.
Holland.
I would think if you get a 50-50 split out of the fans, you did all right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did fine.
You did good.
You
Good
did
job,
fine.
Ken.
Yeah, no, that's, if you're building the pro and con Ken Holland box, SWOT analysis, that's a pro.
Before we look at what that means for Evan Bouchard, given what is left, Cam Lewis wrote a bunch of contract comparables for Evan Bouchard the other day at OilersNation.com. I want to tell you about the Oilers Nation Open coming up on September 1st. That is the Friday leading into the long weekend. We are running out of spots. So if you have a team of 4 you want to submit, get it in now because we have very few spots left. You can do that at nationgear.ca. We also have a handful of Mosaic golfer spaces available. If you don't know what that is, we just take singles and we mash them together. What we've learned, the Mosaic teams end up having a blast, and oftentimes they come back the next year just as a crew.
I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were super disappointed because they weren't able to make it. And they were like, I wasn't even trying to get a group together. He was like, I only wanted to play as a Mosaic golfer.
It's fun. You get to meet fellow nation citizens and you have a blast and you just, you have a great day. Or a third option, if you want to play, is you can bid to golf with Tyler and Liam or Jay and Chalmers.
It's time.
Where are
for
we
an
at on the bids?
auction update?
Is there a further update?
No.
I think we're tied now.
Yeah, we are back to being tied. The bidding is at $1,050 for each.
Oh.
Ryan is in on one, Amar is in on the other. $1,050. You got to increase them by increments of $50
Or more.
or more. Yeah, why
take
not?
a swing.
Tyler at OilersNation.com is where you need to email to get your bids in. So the next bid up has to be minimum $1,100. You and a friend, so 2 of you, get to golf in the Oilers Nation Open, and you can pick with either Jay and Chalmers or myself and Liam. Team Real Life or Team Owen every day.
Kind of depends on what kind of day you want to have.
I think so. I think Liam and I can be
I think that would
sneaky
be
good golfers, and we'll have a good time. Jay and Chalmers are golf hardos.
I think you can definitely have a good time with Liam and Tyler. Mm-hmm. I think you can have a better time with me and Chalmers.
Also, a fourth option, if you'd like to come and you're not a golfer, you can volunteer with us and help us out. Just send me an email, dan@oilersnation.com.
Absolutely.
And that's an automatic blast.
Yes.
It's great. The volunteers always end up having a blast too because you're cruising around the course. You're doing all kinds of stuff all day. So yeah, dan@oilersnation.com if you want to volunteer to help it out. Again, that is on September 1st out at Millwoods Golf Club. Going to be a great day. We're going to raise a bunch of money for Gregor's Grads. It is going to be fantastic. Nationgear.ca is where you get more details or just sign up. Get a team in. Get a Mosaic spot filled. Let's go. It is going to sell out, I promise you, so do not delay. Next thing I want to talk about before we move on to the big Jeff Jackson news from yesterday is just Evan Bouchard. We're waiting on him right now. Depending on which cap site you look at, Cap Friendly has the Oilers listed at 3.5 because Niemelainen is on the roster for them, whereas Puckpedia has them at about 4.28. Depends what you got. So if the Oilers sign Bouchard for less than 3.5, they got an opportunity for a 22-man roster, provided they got a league min player on the other end. Over that, it's going to be a 21-man roster. Thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, it does get like a little bit complicated because you can go up to 4.2 if you take off one of Niemelainen or Peterson, but that's with Broberg off the roster. Broberg's 860. So I think the most likely kind of scenario here is it's Broberg on the roster, not Niemelainen to start the year.
Yep.
And they're going with 12 forwards, not 13, which isn't ideal, but whatever. It'll leave them at somewhere around 4.1 to 4.15 million bucks, I think. You can sign Bouchard with that. I think the comparables are pretty straight.
Give it all to him.
Not all of it.
Okay.
I think the comparables are pretty good or like pretty straightforward. Keandre Miller in New York played a lot of minutes there. Young D-man, 23 years old. Got a 2-year deal, 3.9 mil. Bowen Byram got 2 years, 3.8 million bucks. Offensive-minded defenseman, all of that stuff. You give Bouchard 2 by 3.85 or 3.9. That's the deal. Good enough. He's probably going to pop home 60-plus points next year. to get a 60-point D-man at that kind of contract is good. So easy.
Jay?
You can't, like, there is no way to galaxy brain yourself into thinking 3.9 is not a great deal for Evan Bouchard.
Hurts the team.
How?
Prevents us from signing a depth player. Hurts us the trade deadline. So he needs to. he needs to sign. Okay, there's a lot to unpack.
If he could sign for 3.4, that'd be awesome.
That's what he should do.
It'd be awesome.
That's what he should do. It's
I
about
doubt
your
it.
next ticket, and your next ticket should be signed with another team because it's going to be way too high. Way too high. Trick some other team to pay that money because it's going to be way too high.
Are you just convinced that this is like a Darnell Nurse 2.0?
You got to. Okay.
Like in the sense that his contract, not his
Dad
fault.
on the power play. Dad offensively is fantastic,
39th and even strength points amongst
but
defensemen.
he's a number 6 defenseman.
Jay.
He's Justin Schultz, man.
He's their best puck mover.
He's okay. He's okay. He's okay once he gets to the blue line and the controller turns off once
So-
he gets from there to the ringette line. I know there's not a ringette line in the NHL.
So you have him behind CC and
No.
Desharnais. He's behind Desharnais.
There's a more systemic issue.
okay, so
There's a more systemic issue. The fact that he
Right.
has to be our number one right D.
right, and so that, but to me, that's not his fault.
No, I know.
Right? And that's
but
so- that's where that
why
contract goes to
but
3.9.
once again, right? So if he signs his bridge, that's going to be fine. As long as it allows us to have that option, that cap space to either sign someone now or to have the trade deadline. Or sign someone now that we can send down to open up space at the trade deadline. Like that is so crucial to this season. Because we still need to add. We are kidding ourselves if we think our blue line is strong enough right now.
Oh, I agree with that.
Good enough to
Well,
get you
so
to the
then-
playoffs,
But I don't think that's Evan's fault.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not attacking Evan right
No.
now. There's circumstance.
Yeah.
And there's also like is he worth 3.9? I'm not mad if he makes 3.9 million. And it's when he makes 7 million, that's where like everyone's gonna like see the truth and revolt on him. Guaranteed.
Well,
Guaranteed.
yes,
I
we
just-
saw it in the playoffs.
The
Yes,
way you're
he's phrasing that is so funny.
But the
See, I
thing is,
I agree
he's
with you
not,
there.
he's not a good like. He is. His shot is amazing. He's offensive. Like his passing is good. He's a good puck mover to a point. But defensively, he's not there.
Okay,
He's not there.
There's 2 Evan Bouchards we've seen. There's the
Defensive Evan Bouchard.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Perfect.
There's the Evan Bouchard playing with Duncan Keith in the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yep.
There's the Evan Bouchard that's played with Matthias Ekholm down the stretch and into the playoffs. And then there's the Bouchard who gets stapled with inexperienced Philip Broberg or whoever, or Chris Russell, and you're like, okay, there's problems here.
Yeah, but it's like I've seen big mistakes with good wingman, if you will.
He's
Like,
a
with Nurse,
quality.
with-
He's a quality 4. Because him and Ekholm are so good together.
I'm interested to see what a full year of him and Ekholm together looks
Yeah,
like.
and that's like I'm willing to wait and see current state, and I know he's still developing, but just but what we did it to Justin Schultz. He's an offensive-minded guy who can pass and move the puck and quarterback your power play, and we put him in the one slot, and then we fucking skewered him, and then he went and signed
nobody
and made
helping
$5 million. Put in the right position in the third pair, and he's had a tremendous career because that is what Justin Schultz is.
But all we're
Devin
doing,
Bouchard isn't that far off from that. And that's the thing. Like, if you pay him big money, you just can't be, unless you're Erik Karlsson, and you see what he's making way too much, and you see what that whole ordeal is, trying to move a contract like that. You got to have that defensive element.
Okay, and I agree with you that we need to make sure Evan Bouchard's slotted correctly, but we're almost
putting him number 1 right now. That's not slotting him correctly.
we did in the last half of the season. He had a good partner. Schultz never had a good partner here.
Fair.
And now we're giving him a good partner and letting him develop
But
properly.
he had a good partner, and he still made a significant gap. So I understand he's still developing, but I say all these things to just draw awareness to it. Like sign the deal that gives us some room. Just do that. Show like just do that, because your next deal, regardless, is going to be sweet. So if it has to be a 1 year for right now, Just do it.
But it might be with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
No, then it's depending what the ask is. Like,
Yeah.
Are you happy on his next deal if he's on the books for $7 million?
Yeah.
If he's producing at that level.
I would sign. I would.
But what's a $7 million
and that's where I
defenseman to you?
agree. And that's where I agree with you that he will be yelled at no matter what because of these bridge deals.
What is a $7 million defenseman to you?
Would you have paid for $7 million to have Mike Green in his prime?
Vince Dunn just signed a $7.35 million deal, 4 years long.
Physical, can defend,
Ish. Okay.
right? Like that's like you got to have
26 years old though. I think Bouchard can defend at a Vince Dunn level in 3 years.
We'll see, and that and if once that's proven to me, I'll change my narrative a little bit. But I don't know if it's in his game. I don't, because I feel like the intensity that we want, I feel like he tries to like force it, and it's not natural. So like he can't be who he isn't.
Quinn Hughes, $7.8 million on his bridge. He doesn't defend.
That's an elite skilled defenseman though. That is not like, you cannot compare Quinn Hughes to Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, there's a gap there for sure.
Like that, like Quinn Hughes is Cale Makar light.
Yeah.
Bouchard is not Cale Makar light.
But Bouchard would be making half of what Quinn Hughes would be making on his bridge deal. Like that's Quinn.
Like,
Hughes.
Quinn Hughes signed. He signed a 5. What did he sign?
It was a 5-year deal, but it carries him to age 27. Like it's
Yeah,
not
but that's
like
a 5-year deal though.
I
Like
suppose,
that's
still a lot of money for a young D man.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
but he's
doesn't
proven
defend
it
that
though. Like, and the kid wheels around the ice.
Yeah.
What's your
Kate's
number?
really
It comes right now. Evan Bouchard.
I just hope he signs for like 3-4 or whatever, like whatever it is for $775. Like that's it. Like and go and like earn that big deal. And if the game evolves and there's the defensive thing, then yes, I want that big deal to be with us. I still think there could be some development opportunity there. I don't know if it's in his pedigree or in his DNA to do it, but let's see if I can get there. And then sure. But if not, have someone else take on that big ticket. I know my brand is like to shit on dad, but I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm trying to like I'm trying to really I think I have an understanding of the player.
Yep.
And that's why I say this. But right now this is a salary cap situation. Not Evan's fault.
Yep.
And that's why maybe it has to be a 1-year deal. Like we need that flexibility. If we're trying to win championships, to Ryan McLeod's point, like there wasn't much money to give around, you know, winning championships, what gets you paid. Like that's how you need to think. So like at the end of the day, what's like when I say what's $500,000, that is fucking life-changing money to an individual if it's going from $0 to $500,000. Mm-hmm. But in this circumstance, knowing that like that big ticket like is coming, like everyone's got to take everyone's just got to take a little bit less at the moment, right? You got to do this. Like if we're really thinking we're going for it, and the minute if you have in 1 or 2 years Stanley Cup champion Evan Bouchard, you'll probably go sign for $8 or $9 million somewhere. Perfect, mission accomplished.
Yeah, could be. Dan, what do you got for a number? What's your prediction? We're gonna Tyler, write these down, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't even say mine's a prediction. Mine's just like what I want it to be.
What would you what you want it to be, and what's your prediction?
Well,
I'm saying 3.85.
By how many years?
2.
I think he's going to do I think he's just going to do 3.71.
Oilers should just flex and just do 1 at 3. Like Oilers should, like the only time they can
That's
flex
the
their
best.
muscle.
If they're gonna grind them, now's the time.
Jay, what's
Like-
your guess?
Like, well, I'm just going to try to manifest it. Oilers flex the one time you can flex and do 1 by 3. 3 by 1.
What did a right-handed defenseman sign for this year? Like, what were the right-handed defenseman free agents? Because that's what you'd have to be looking at for next year. If you're letting Bouchard go, you have to bring somebody in to replace him.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's how you think though. Just
No?
because he's RFA, right? And he's,
Yeah.
I mean, the ARB case with him, I think, is a little spooky,
I suppose,
potentially.
yeah.
So that's
Super
why.
spooky.
But that's why I give him the second year. You just get him 2 by 3.85, cost certainty heading into a summer when the cap's going up.
If you could get 2 by 3.495, that would be
That would be
amazing.
the best because then you can afford to keep an extra piece on the roster. I agree.
And then also, just like I said, that next year, because the salary cap is going to go up, that contract will look real good. And I get it. It's not. It's got to be for both sides. But like we've got this little window of time that everyone's got to kind of like abide by.
Yeah.
Also, a 2-year deal would bring him to the end of Leon's deal, and if there's a sacrifice to be made to sign the big man, well,
It's anybody.
Yeah, I think
We need
there's
some
I think there's
defensemen, though.
other ways to. If,
There's going to be other ways,
if
and
you're
it's also
worried,
we got to
right?
see how much the cap goes up.
yeah, because if the cap
Purely
jumps up
guessing.
14 million between now and then, you're not going to struggle to sign those guys. At that point, you're dealing with only 2 more years of Jack Campbell. You can probably get out from that. You could buy out the last year of Evander Kane. You could do a handful of things to give yourself money. Like there's nothing you don't do to make sure you keep both Bouchard and Draisaitl if you need to, right?
The other major news that happened this week is the Edmonton Oilers announced bright and early yesterday that Jeff Jackson, yes, that's Connor McDavid's agent, well, former agent, came in to be the new CEO of hockey operations. Tyler, you wrote about it a little bit this morning. What were your first thoughts on seeing Jeff Jackson come in as the new business daddy on hockey ops?
I love it. I love that we didn't even hear like a rumbling or like a no inside, I guess because it's August or whatever, but like no insider on a podcast was like, I'm hearing the Oilers are like looking to shift things up. Jeff Jackson's in the mix. Like we had heard some stuff earlier in the offseason about Bob Nicholson's future, but it was squashed like real quick by some local guys. Turns out the organization kind of had a plan, and I love the fit of Jeff Jackson. I understand why some people would read the first sentence of the news release and like roll their eyes and be like, "Oh my God, McDavid's agent. Oh, of course, classic Oilers." But
He's also like mega agent.
he's mega agent. He has a very long track record, both in terms of his lawyer career and his hockey career. He played in the NHL. He's been an AGM before. He's been in different front offices. Now he's represented players. He's seen like every side of the hockey world. Bringing a guy like that in to run your organization is a good move. Think about Montreal hiring Kent Hughes to be their GM, right? Like teams hire former agents all the time. And the other side of this is, why would it ever be a bad thing to get the guy who's tight with McDavid into your organization? And the other thing that I keep kind of going to in my head is, would Jeff Jackson take this job if he wasn't like 99% sure Connor's sticking around? You don't take this gig if you're if you've talked to Connor before and Connor's like, I think I'd like to test unrestricted free agency one day.
If that is the only thing it means.
Yeah.
Win.
And it means Leon's not
Massive
going anywhere
win.
either, because if Connor's staying, Leon's staying.
Oh, that's just like
This was actually a pretty big day.
it's really helped with my anxiety about the Oilers.
I think it's a great move. Just even like obviously the Connor McDavid angle is huge. And if it's even brings it up 20% more that he stays because of that person in that spot, then that's a win in itself. But I also like just, it is a fresh blood at the highest level of this organization. And for a lot of people that go, oh, the Oilers only hire former Oilers, blah, blah, blah. This isn't that.
Yep.
Ken Holland now reports to Jeff Jackson. And I find that to be amazing.
And 4 weeks ago, Ken Holland and Jeff Jackson were working out the Connor Brown deal.
Which is a little odd.
Yeah. Promotion.
I
above
said I
the
made this
person.
joke on Real Life, but the idea of Jeff Jackson being like, knowing this was coming and being like, listen, Connor, there's no offers. This is the only one. It's just Edmonton, big guy. I'm sorry.
Well, the timing on it is intriguing because I watched the presser yesterday and they go, oh, well, this idea of working with the Oilers kind of came about around the draft. I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold up. You go back and look, Jeff
Because
Jackson.
again, guys, he got Connor Brown paid. It's $4 million.
Yeah, it's a $4 million
Like,
deal.
it's-
Is what it is.
100%. I think my only like I've 100% felt yesterday when I heard that news, I felt like the morning that we got Pronger and Pekka. Like it felt that same kind of level just because it was a certain amount of, I've always been telling myself that Connor and Leon means that we're going to have Connor and Leon forever. But that was you said it, Jay. That's all that move signaled to me is that Connor is an Edmonton Oiler for life.
Like anything that's always like upper management, I want to shit on immediately. And I'm like, I hate this. I think this is actually a good thing.
The only question mark I have is I literally don't know who this human being is and what his opinions are on stuff. And I'm looking forward to being able to learn more about him and hear more from him.
Taking care of Connor.
Take care of Connor is all that matters.
Yep.
You know what? Connor loves Leon, so we take care of Leon too.
Take care of Leon. Yep.
Frankly, you know
Bouch
what?
is also a Wasserman client.
He is.
So that's the thing. He founded the agency.
Yeah.
So like, does he own shares in the agency? So you have to like put him in a blind trust and blah, 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 all that shit.
He handed everything over to Bob.
Yeah.
So like
Wasserman.
he's
I was
still
thinking
gonna
that
get
too.
so he's gonna get paid by the Oilers and he's gonna own shares in a company that makes money off of Connor McDavid's contract with the Oilers.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
David's next deal is like $30 million a year.
But he's not in the
Oilers
room when the negotiations are happening. He just tells the GM exactly what to do ahead of time.
You know what's so funny at the draft when Kyle Dubas had to leave the table?
Yeah, or like Brad Tree Living wasn't there.
Or Tree Living had to leave. Yeah, Tree Living
He
had
got
to
to
leave
show
the
up
table.
after the Leafs pick.
That's just,
I also love that yesterday Dubas is just like, and the new GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins is Kyle Dubas.
that person.
That gift, someone tweeted out there like Dubas negotiating the deal, and it's him with the 2 phones up to his ear. That's great.
I wonder if it comes with a pay raise. Because if it does,
He talked
shame on you.
As the GM, he talked to his boss, which was also him, and he was just like, you know what? I deserve a raise. He's like, you do deserve a raise. Here you go.
Get a nice severance package for not having the one title anymore. Yeah, it'd be great.
Hell yeah. Back to Jeff Jackson, though. I think this is a win. I like it.
I'm excited to see what he does with like also just like from the business side. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I mean, it's an
interacts.
interesting time in terms of coverage of the team. Like, that is interesting.
So Bob Nicholson has got essentially bumped up to a made-up title of advisor to somebody. Advisor to the clouds.
This seems like we respect you too much to tell you to get lost. So,
Yep.
Or maybe they just didn't have an out clause.
yeah, like
Just
He's going to be
him
doing
out.
the same scouting Duncan
Right.
Keith is doing as he drives by the Penticton Arena every now and then.
well, Duncan Keith had one job:
yeah.
get Patty Kane here.
and he
Yeah,
failed
he
miserably.
Failed.
Well, so far.
Well, so far.
Dot,
League
dot,
min.
dot, 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 dot.
Come on,
Want to talk
Bill.
about a guy who would only take league minimum to sign?
Not Patty Kane.
He would do it. You think so? For fit? He's looking for ships.
Yeah, maybe.
Is there anyone out there, like, realistically, that, like, say Bouchard signs less than 3.5 and you can get a league min deal? Like, Tyler, like, you PTO everyone. That's your thing.
Hashtag PTO
Yeah.
everyone. Like, why
there
wouldn't
any
you,
options?
right? Everyone but Jake Virtanen, sorry. PTO everyone but Virtanen.
PTO Patty Kane.
Okay.
What
That's a
what
take.
is the deadline that they have until they can sign a free agent for the season? Is that in December? Do you know what
That's
I mean?
just for RFAs.
Oh, okay, so like
Yeah,
Patty Kane could sign on deadline
Think
day.
of Evander Kane, right? He signed
Yeah.
at that time like January.
Right.
So the free agents who are out there who I think are somewhat interesting. On the blue line, there's really only once. There's 3 UFA D-men.
Calvin DeHaan, is he anywhere?
I don't think so, but I think he's kind of a little past.
Did Mark Pissick sign?
I take a
I like Pissick, but there's 3
Where's he been though?
chilling.
Playing?
Playing on
I
third
remember he
line?
like blew out his ACL like in camp last year. But anyway, so 3 free agent defensemen that averaged more than 19 minutes last year. 3 UFAs.
Okay. Ooh.
Dumba, too expensive.
Yes.
Caleb Jones, we're good. Simone Benoit
Who?
in Anaheim, averaged just north of 19 minutes a game last year. 6'3",
Minus
plays with some
400.
bite. Minus 400 because he played on the Ducks.
Yeah.
Prime Nicholas Lidstrom would have been minus 30 on that Ducks team last year.
Impossible.
Yeah. I like him as a D-man. And then the forwards I listed on in my article at Oilers Nation today.
What do you got, Tyler?
Like
I love a good PTO.
Noah Gregor,
I'm surprised just legit.
I feel like that's collusion.
just because of Greg's, yeah. I feel like Noah Gregor is going to go somewhere with a more clear path up the depth chart, and that maybe doesn't quite exist in Edmonton. But I still think he's a damn good player, and if he's willing to sign for league minimum to play a season at home, I think that would be a really interesting idea. Maxime Comtois is another one, just because we're getting to the point of the summer where it might be like, hey, man, are you taking league minimum or are you going to Europe? Like, come on. Tyler Mott, if you're looking for someone to help on the PK, but you kind of have pieces like him in like a Janmark, so I think he'd be a little redundant. And the one I like the most is Pius Suter, former Red Wing, former Blackhawk. Be an intriguing thing.
Why?
Competition with Elaine Peterson for the 4C spot.
I think we need grit.
I mean, sure. Like I
I
do.
think we need something with a little bit of sandpaper.
That'd be the dream.
I never scoffed at a guy. I look at
I
Suter.
don't know about you, but just even the name Pius Suter doesn't scream sandpaper.
He's 5'11", 180 pounds.
Unless Pius is sandpaper and Swiss.
It might be, but the last 3 seasons in the NHL, 14 goals, 15 goals,
Sounds
14
like a good
goals.
I was gonna say castrata singer, which would mean a singer that's had their testicles lopped off, which was a practice a long time ago.
What?
If you don't do a good job, it's on the table.
Or was it to like
They'll be
make
on
their,
the table.
Or was it to make their voice higher?
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Would it work?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It
Really?
used to be like a standard practice.
Yeah.
That singers would get their
Yes, to have that high. Like,
At what
voice.
age?
And I was trying to think of I wanted to say baritone, but that sounds like
baritone's
rough.
the deeper
Falsetto?
That's
Falsetto?
falsetto.
Yeah, you get extra testicles.
That's
put
what I
in.
was looking for Pius Suter.
Yeah, they insert an extra one.
But maybe
if
it's a
you're
castrato singer.
baritone.
I don't know. But if you go and search, there is recorded recordings of like the last like a lot like that's a long time ago.
So I googled singers with no balls.
There is a recording of the last castrato singer because like they stopped it once they realized how inhumane that was. I don't know when,
I put-
1975.
I put Pius Suter into Google Translate and it came up as then sigh in French. So then
I like the
sigh.
idea of this becoming a bit.
Yeah.
The last castrato singer,
Yeah, how long ago?
1922.
Yeah, there's a
Alessandro
recording.
Moreschi.
So that means it was a practice as late 1800s.
Yeah, like 100 years ago, they were lopping off people's balls.
So, anyways, yeah, I think Pius Suter could fit on fourth line. In
Then
closing.
sigh?
Well, here's the thing. I asked, so Lane Peterson was in the Canucks organization before he went on to Columbus. So I talked to our boy Quads. He only played as a winger there. And
Does Ken Holland know that?
And the guide and record book lists him as a C, and that's what my concern is.
We're having a Derek Brassard situation all over again?
He had 18 goals in 22 games in the AHL last year, and you go, fucking hell, bro. But the notes from the boys at CA was foot speed's not great, hell of a shot, mostly plays wing. Not sure why you guys are calling him a center.
I'm gonna throw a name, Danton Heinen.
I don't hate that.
He's 400 games in, and he's a 0.45 points per game, 0.4 on average. That's good for depth.
Listen, all I'm saying is we need some cornerstone insurance.
I like Heinen. I like Cornerstone Insurance.
You like Hyman? Yeah, he's already an
I also like Zach
Heinen.
Hyman. I like Zach Hyman too. Very, very handsome. Apparently a shit golfer though.
Yeah, they were just taking all liberties out of it.
That's my favorite part about that tourney is that they get a little bit of personality, feeling loose. And the line from Connor, to paraphrase, was just like, I don't even know why this guy puts on a golf tournament. He is terrible. I love it. I love it. Anyway, Cornerstone Insurance is Edmonton's premier boutique insurance brokerage with over 90 years of success and still growing. If you visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation, you can get a tenant or condo insurance quote in just a couple of minutes. And if you use the promo code NATION, you get exclusive rate. So you get your insurance products done. Citizen of the Nation, you get yourself a little discount. What's not to like there? cornerstoneins.ca is where you need to be to make sure that you are properly covered.
A lot of different payment options. That's what I like about my experience with them. You could do it all at once. You could do monthly. I go once every 3 months.
Oh, you're a quarterly guy, huh? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yep. And I
Says a lot
Why
about
did you
you.
choose quarterly,
Yeah,
by
it
the
says
way?
a lot about you. I mean, it's kind of.
no, sorry, every 4 months. I make 3 payments a year. I go
Even worse.
30%, 30%, 40%.
Why do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like my monthly because then I know my fixed.
Yes. I do my lump sum.
And then I always forget.
Then the other 11 months feel free.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's fair.
Makes
I
sense.
do kind of like doing that.
I love like when I do travel, I love paying as early as possible for it.
Then it
so
feels
when you
like
go on
a
the
free
trip,
trip.
it feels free, and that is awesome.
Amber and I did that with our trips. Like we paid for them all in June. And then we were sitting there paying our MasterCard bill in June. And we were like, damn, this sucks. But we're like, next few months shouldn't be too bad.
Tonight I'm going to a concert. I bought those tickets ages ago.
Free night.
concert.
And then I
Free
always
night.
feel like you splurge a little more. Because in
Oh,
the
a little
moment,
bit.
you're like, oh, God, this sucks. And then like,
Yeah,
you know,
on the
you
whole,
sit-
doesn't work.
then
It's like,
you-
well, it's a free concert, so I should buy $400 worth of merch.
Yeah. Oh, Uber Black. Let's do it. Oh, no.
A couple of cocktails. Why not?
That's
Okay.
only if you got no time in LA.
Surge pricing on Uber on the way home. Let's go. We riding. Anyway,
Sounds like a lot of personal experience here.
well, it happens to the best of us, you know. Happens to the best of us. Really quickly before we move on to the next little items, just want to say happy birthday, Evander Kane. Turned 32 on Wednesday. Shout out to Evander Kane.
Golfing a lot on his Instagram.
Riviera.
Yeah. Bougie.
He got a good swing.
Yeah, bougie golf course.
I bet she's a low single digit cap. Like
He's a lefty, too.
yeah.
Hey, Evander, if you're free September 1,
Come on down.
Hell yeah.
Do it. The other thing I want to mention quickly before we get to some Assy Idiots and Hot Cold Performers is Milan Lucic was on Spit and Chicklets this past week, and they asked him a lot about I find it so funny that whenever they talk to a Flame, they always ask about losing to the Oilers 2 years ago, and based on what I've got from Lucic here, the Flames were just completely rattled by the Oilers, and I loved it. That's it. They basically felt like they won game 1, 9-5 or 9-6. So then, game 1 is opened up. So we think right away, well, I guess we can score with these guys because we put up 9 in the first game. And according to Lucic, that was the worst thing that could have happened.
That was our plan.
God, I still remember that first game, watching it at where were Greta or whatever, where we were that year.
At,
and
Bouchard.
and like that first shot goes in, like the second shot or whatever goes in, and you're like, oh my God. But then Connor, like that second intermission was so like nerve wracking because they had gotten back in the game. You're like, holy shit, this is going to be an unbelievable night. And then they blew it.
But then the second game, they also gave up 3 goals, like bang, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm. And then Duncan Keith scored a big one. That was great. I think Evan Bouchard had a handful of points.
When asked about how the series ended, Lucic
He does get points. No one discounts the fact that Evan Bouchard gets
I don't
points.
remember. I don't remember him being on the ice for any of the goals against either. I'm just saying I personally don't remember the whole.
Listen, I had a couple of cocktails during that entire series. There's a lot I don't remember. He goes, every time we said we turned the puck over, it ended up in the back of our net. It was like everything that it was just uncharacteristic of how we played the entire season and how we did our thing. It was a lack of adjustments because we didn't tighten up at all after that. We didn't tighten up in the neutral zone. We didn't tighten up in the D zone. We just didn't know what to do. All that type of stuff like we did in the regular season.
All that type of stuff.
All that type of stuff.
If you
It also, I liked every time we turned over the puck, it ended up in the back of our net. Yeah, man, because your goalie couldn't bail you out.
Yeah, Jacob Markstrom
It was terrible.
And also, he said anytime they took a penalty, we scored.
Anytime they took penalty, they would end up in the net.
Writing that goalie needs to stop the puck. Don't take penalties against the Oilers. Yeah, man.
But wait, power plays don't happen in the playoffs.
I love that narrative.
Do you think the Oilers go 30% again this year? Power
I
play?
think so.
No reason why they can't.
Yeah, especially with Evan, full year of Evan there.
Because the power play got
did it
better
with
with
Barry.
Bouchard there.
Marginally. Gregor did the math. I listened to you have a rundown, like
I don't care.
0.3% or something crazy.
0.3%.
Sometimes you throw it, like Dan said, you throw a grenade in the room and you watch it go.
Yeah.
You know?
This is what you guys do with Rick and I on the couch.
Well, yeah, sometimes you got it.
I love arguing with Rick
Yeah, he's
Arguing with Rick is fun.
because he is passionate.
You could be positive about something and you'll argue with
And you
Rick.
can never get him to think otherwise.
he's
Just
gonna
like-
he's gonna appreciate you gave Ken Holland some love there at the start because that was right up Rick's alley. That's a plus side for Kenny.
Would not appreciate the Bouchard comments, though.
No. That is true. Actually, this could have been a screaming match.
I love it.
Oh, I feel I can get Rick to. No, I can't. It's tough. It's
You're
so
never
cloudy.
gonna
We'll get you guys on the couch
His
next
vision
week.
is so cloudy. It's like he's got cataracts.
He is yep. He sees only in blue and orange.
Can't see through that Kool-Aid.
That is it. That is it. Tyler's a time to stop for an ad.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
What
What
an ad.
Liam
Personally-
actually, even though he's on vacation, specifically requested that we drop that ad in there.
Yeah, because he uses it all the time.
He uses it all the time. He was very excited to use it at his epic day at the M&M factory.
It's the funniest fucking Instagram post ever. That should be more popular than that Ellen selfie is Liam's picture at the M&M store. It's so funny.
If you don't follow Liam's adventures, go follow
Which
him
one?
Liam.pods, I think.
Or liam.crew.scouting.
You're still
Or-
updating that one on the
Or
first
Liam_Horrobin.
Yeah. Follow all the Liam
Or anything that has the word Liam in it is him on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a I am Liam. I assume that's him too.
Has to be.
British podcaster, I believe, is the handle of his.
Oh, how dare you call him British?
He brought some Nation gear over for some of his pals.
Yeah. Yeah, he said one of his buddies was a big Oilers fan or something like that. Yeah. It's good. It's good to have some ON representation across the
yeah.
pond.
Across the pond.
You know?
I was in Heathrow and I was wearing a Nation hat, and the guy's like, "Oilers Nation!" And I was like, "What?" And he was from Edmonton, but still, we were in London, so that's
Still cool.
That is cool.
Super cool. I love it. For our friends at Will Hawk Beef Jerky, it's time to get to Ask the Idiots. I've got some questions here that have nothing to do with anything, as we do. 3 locations around the city where you can get Will Hawk Beef Jerky. You've got Spruce Grove, you've got Leduc, and you've got West Edmonton Mall. Tyler, I need to know what phase and what entrance.
It's right. No, come on.
You said you knew all the phases and all the
Yeah,
entrances.
come on.
Entrance 44.
You just cheater. Cheater.
Well, I know where the entrance is. I just needed to make sure I got the number right.
Where is it for those of us who don't
By
know?
the ice rink.
There you go. That's all you need.
Well,
There's like 4 entrances by the ice rink.
Well, just go in one of them and you'll be close to Wilhock.
all roads lead to the ice rink.
Yeah, just sniff. You'll find it.
Maybe I'll go to the mall tonight.
You should go to the mall tonight.
Just as soon as you walk in, put your tongue on the floor. And as it gets more delicious, that means you're getting closer to Wilhock.
Close. That's exactly how it works.
You got to let your tongue lead you. It'll get you to,
Or you find yourself at Professor Wham's mini golf.
it's the true North Star.
Yep. Take it from Jay. Go lick a floor until you find jerky.
Lick West Edmonton Mall floors.
Gentlemen, we have got 4 questions today for Ask the Idiots for our friends at Wilhock Beef Jerky. First one comes in from La Bamba Guy. We're going to start with Jay.
Oh.
You are guesting on the podcast today. If you could permanently Freaky Friday with anyone on the cast of O&R, whose personality are you taking? Or whose body and personality are you taking?
But you're getting their life too, right? Like you lived their life in this company.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. So can I mix and match, or is it one
Freaky
answer?
Friday.
I would like to stick to the standard of Freaky Friday.
I'm gonna go with Tyler because I want to see the joy. I want to feel the joy that he gets from like drinking a glass of warm tap water. Like some of those
Specific.
some of those like random things that he does, or also I want to live life on the edge.
Yeah.
And eat a fettuccine Alfredo while driving down St. Albert Trail. And I also want to know his address so I can share it with everyone on the podcast.
I also want to feel the pure elation of a good piss joke that sends him over the edge.
That's a good one. That feels. And I also want to know how much money he actually gambles.
Ooh, good one. So you'd have access to Tyler's betting accounts as well.
I feel like I'm a decent answer for this in all honesty because out of the group, I have the least amount of responsibilities. Like
Fair enough.
My life is generally pretty carefree.
I'm also going to get see the joy of the bike ride to the beer store.
Yep, 7 a.m. beer runs. Nation Dan, you are Freaky Fridaying with one of the folks on O&R. Who would it be?
It's the guy that's joined the podcast most recently. It's Liam. Same reason as Jay. I want to get inside that guy's head and figure out where some of that stuff comes from. Because I think of like the theme songs that he's done for this podcast before. Like I'd just love to hear the music that's running through his head every day. It's an experience, I think.
I want to taste bananas the way he tastes bananas.
That's
love.
A buddy. You know how to make every buddy in the world?
I saw he ate a
Chicken buddy.
chicken and chip butty the other day. Perfect.
All the buddies.
Tyler, you're Freaky Fridaying with somebody who would be?
He's not here, but I'll say Rick. He also lives a relatively carefree lifestyle, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I like that. I also want to know what's it like running the pint for a busy Friday or Saturday night. Put myself in Rick's shoes there.
I was also going to pick Rick because I would like to know what it's like to be a little bit jacked.
Yeah, he's very strong.
He goes to the gym very early in the morning before I even wake up.
When we switch back, he would get back in his body and be like, what did you do to this?
Yeah. It'd be purely damaged. He's
This
all
wasn't here
deflated.
before.
Atrophy doesn't take that long to set in, does it?
Yeah, me and Rick switch back and he's all deflated. and
Where are
sad.
my abs?
Yeah. So Rick, sorry, buddy. I'm going to ruin that temple of yours. Next up, Tyler, I'm going to start.
Why can I sing really high all of a sudden?
Yeah. Tyler, I'm starting with you.
Okay.
The business dad, this one comes in from Cody. The business daddies at Playmaker are creating a slam ball league.
Yes.
Which nation site wins it all? Who is your MVP? And which nation site comes dead last?
Okay, so it's Canucks Army, Flames Nation, Oilers Nation, Jets Nation, Leafs Nation, and Daily Faceoff.
And do we include hockey fights?
Oh, you got to include hockey fights. It's the whole network.
There you go.
What team am I on?
I mean, you'd probably be Team ON.
Team ON wins. I'm MVP. Team that comes last is Jets Nation.
Sorry, Angus.
Sorry, Angus. I just don't think Angus could do it.
It's a tough sled for Angus.
I like how you name yourself MVP.
Yeah, like automatic. Like, bum, 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 bum.
He was just waiting to find out what team he was
Without
on.
a
That's
doubt.
it.
Dude, think how high I could jump on a trampoline. And I'm long. Good
Yeah,
reach.
but coordination, though?
Very skinny would be hard to wrap up. Slip
Just think of
around.
Josh and I in the net, though, like on that tramp blocking the net from you. Mm-hmm. Huh?
Fair. That'd
And
be
John Scott.
And John Scott. There you go.
Well, Nation Dan, you're up next. We're playing slam ball. Which nation site wins it? Who loses? And who's the MVP?
I think Hockey Fights makes it to the final, but we probably lose to DFO. And I bet you Frank Saravalli is like an underrated slam ball player. So I'm going to say DFO wins it in the championship against John, Scott, Josh, and I in Hockey Fights in the final.
Jay, we're playing slam ball as a network. Which team wins it? Who's the MVP? Who comes last?
So I'm going to say an answer, and then the conspiracy theorists out there are going to feel supported. But I think it's Barn Burner, Flames Nation. Whoa! Because remember them at ice hockey? They were good.
They were. Yeah, they were
So
good.
you got Pinder, who is
Good athlete.
insanely competitive. You
Complete
got
animal.
Rhett Warner,
Yep.
who his shoulders are 5 feet wide, and is an intimidating mofo. And you got Boomer, who's there to get things pumped up. You got the Wolverine.
He's a competitor.
He'll take your knees out, and he competes. You got Pike
Yep.
wearing a cardigan,
Oh,
throwing you off.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Coach, he's the coach.
Like
Outside.
that scares me. And I'd say who finishes last?
Yep.
I'm gonna say DFO finishes last.
I'm gonna go.
I could be like Frank, being like, nope, not a trampoline guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Greg's is going to be aggressive in the paint, though.
Frank's like they only
Oh,
do.
that's like, but where's Gregor on the fence? He's a hybrid too.
I suppose he could be.
But I guess we'll put yes, that does
separate from Tyler. Wherever Tyler goes, Greg doesn't. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Good
Well, then I'm
point.
taking Tyler on ON. He's taller.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm gonna call out quads in favor. I'm gonna say CA
Yeah.
and Stefan Roger.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to go Team ON wins. Hands down. Who's the MVP? I'm going to say Jay's the MVP because he's very competitive when we play sports. You're also tall. I think you get in the mix.
Be a good MVP pick.
Good MVP pick. Who comes dead last? My toss-up is between DFO and Canucks Army. And the reason I say that is because I can see Frank saying, we don't trampoline in the U.S.
Yeah,
Something like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
No,
Like
he's
his
gonna be a wrecking
anti-hot
ball
tub
up there.
stance.
Yeah, his anti-hot tub stance has been stuck in my head since January, and I can't shake it.
I bet you Frank loves a good trampoline.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
Ask him on the next show. Let's do it.
I'm still trying to. I want to build a list of things that Frank does like. Pappy Van Winkle. He loves that, or a good bourbon. A nice red.
A nice picture at the beach.
A lovely picture of the beach. He loves going to the beach. He loves golf.
Loves golf.
He loves Tyler.
Does love Tyler.
Aw.
So I'm actually going to, my losing team I'm going to say is Canucks Army. One, quads is tiny. I'm flicking him off like a fly.
Like, you need to have some inertia in air for in air contact.
Yeah.
Like, that's where size matters.
Yeah. I know Faber has got knee issues,
Yep.
so he's not going to be wanting to be
Well,
on the
let's
trampoline.
say he's got a really good brace. Like, he could be a force.
He could be a force, but I'm also
He's athletic, football and baseball.
100%. But I'm also cheap. I will attack that knee.
That's true. In slam ball, there's no.
Ain't no prisoners.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Canucks Army is the loser. So there you go.
Good
That's a
question.
fun
though.
one.
I like that question. Yeah.
Next question. This one comes in from our boy Dukes. I'll start with Nation Dan here. You can steal one player from any team in the league without cap ramifications as a franchise type player. Who it be?
For this Edmonton Oilers team,
Is it just for this year? Or do they stay for good?
You get 1 year.
I think I would bring it in just for the fact that it would be so good for this team and the chemistry. I'm going to go to Florida and grab Matthew Tkachuk.
Ooh, spicy.
I think it would just be fun to have him on this team and just piss some more people off.
Because we have enough speed to put around him. Yeah, that's not a bad pick.
Jay, you get to steal one player from any team, any position, no cap ramifications for 1 year.
Kale McCarr.
Great.
That's
That I was gonna say, hurt in a car, call Cale McCarr. That was gonna be my pick. That's a good lawyer jingle if he was a lawyer. But I'll go a different direction. I'll say Ilya Sorokin. I think he's the best goalie in the league.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice one. I like that. To be different. You know what? I'm just going to say it. The Oilers need wingers, right wingers specifically. There's one who is chasing the all-time goal record. Ovi playing beside Connor is a lot of goals in the net.
that'd be unreal.
They could do a power play with no D-men. Just Draisaitl on one side and Ovi on the other, and just have McDavid at the top being like, all right, who are you not going to cover?
Yeah. Somebody's going to be wide open and someone's going to tattoo it through the net. So that's my pick. Shout out to Dukes for that one. Last question for Ask the Idiots for our friends at Will Hawk Beef Jerky. Tyler, I'm coming back to you first. You only get to eat one dessert for the rest of your life. What is it?
Black Forest cake.
Oh, that was quick. You
Or creme brulee.
What?
Oh, you're a
Those are-
flan
wow.
guy. Interesting.
Those are two very different.
very different.
I do love a good Black Forest
Which
cake.
one you're picking though? You only get one for the
only
rest
get one.
of your life.
Black Forest cake.
Nice. Jay, you got one dessert.
My
for the
family
rest of
always makes fun of me. It's always my birthday cake of choice.
It's a good choice.
Great cake, right? I don't know why I get ridiculed.
Jay, you get one dessert for the rest of your life. What is it?
So this is something my mom used to make me, and it's chocolate cake with butterscotch pudding.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
So like butterscotch pudding, like insertion into the chocolate cake, and I haven't had it in hundreds of years, but I think about it all the time.
Almost like a
And
lava
it's not
cake.
even like the sentimental value of it. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Would the liquid ooze out when you cut it, kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's a nice.
Yeah,
lava
no,
cake.
it was good because like butterscotch it doesn't, it's underrated.
Underrated for sure.
So I'm gonna go with that. And if I had to take something that's actually real, no, only one answer.
Yeah. I was going to say my mom's banana cupcakes, but because I'm on one answer, I'll go with a carrot cake with a good cream cheese icing.
Oh yeah,
that is really
I'm not a carrot
I,
cake guy.
and I know it's a weird cake to choose because it was designed for like rations in the World War or something. But yeah, I just love
I
it.
find it delicious.
Yeah,
Love a carrot cake.
get some good nuts in there.
I feel like my answer is a little bit cheating, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to say Neapolitan ice cream because then I get 3 flavors.
It's a decent play.
You can do all 3 if you like, or you can just scrape one out.
Right.
So that's what
Well,
I'm
if you had to rank the flavors, like I used to eat them individually.
Yeah, one at a time.
So then I'll go chocolate, strawberry, vanilla.
Yeah, that's the right.
I would leave the strawberry in the container.
What?
I don't like
There's
strawberry
something
anything.
about the fake strawberry I really
Yeah.
like. I don't know
not for me,
why. It doesn't make sense.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you're alone in thinking that. Like fake strawberry flavoring, fake banana flavoring, those just drive me nuts.
But the fake banana flavoring is the actual banana flavor. I think I did that last week.
Yeah,
last
we
time I was on the
did.
podcast. Sorry. Fun facts from Dan.
Liam's not on the podcast, but he will pick cheesecake.
Yes.
But he
But
picks
which
one of the-
one?
Yeah, well, you could
That
pick
is-
the multi-pack, and then you have.
I wonder if he's observing Cheesecake Wednesdays while he's
I hope
back
so.
home in Britain.
Damn it! If we can't have consistency when he's on holiday, then what are we even doing here? You know?
Does he get a burger at the pitches that he goes to?
Yeah, there's no burger review. Didn't he go to
He went to a Bolton game.
a
Go
bowl game?
Wanderers.
And he went to the same field that Ted Lasso plays at. But what team is there? Crystal Palace?
Well,
What a vacation. When's he back anyway?
I don't
Never.
know. I texted him the other day. He said 6 more weeks. I was like, pardon?
Okay.
Wow.
Where's Liam in the world? Could be anywhere.
His
Still got the
vacation's like,
mustache in case you were worried.
it's like Groundhog Day.
That's all that matters. All right, gentlemen, let's wrap up the podcast with some hot and cold performance for our friends at Star Mechanical. Star Mechanical is, of course, one of Edmonton's biggest locally owned and operated plumbing and heating businesses. They've been working within the community for over 20 years, and many of the homes built in Edmonton over that span have had their plumbing and heating systems installed by Star Mechanical. Essentially, what I'm telling you is if you want pros doing the job, which you should, Star Mechanical is your pick. Boys, as we always do, we start off with our veggies, with our cold performers of the week. Looking at Nation Danny, he's sitting right in front of me. You are up first, sir. Your Star Mechanical cold performer of the week.
This is a weird one to put out in the ethos, but it's something that's been bugging me since it came out about 2 weeks ago. And it's going to go to Wayne Gretzky for his comment on a podcast or whatever, where he said that he eats 4 hot dogs, 2 slices of pizza, and drank 2 Diet Cokes before every game. How is that even possible?
Very clearly bullshit.
I'm calling bullshit on it. I'm annoyed by it. It looks silly.
I've heard
Wayne
this
Gretzky.
rumor for years.
I
that
just-
it was like I didn't know the quantity, but I knew it was pizza and hot dogs.
I'm so tempted to just say, you know what? This year I'm going to eat 4 hot dogs, 2 slices of pizza, and drink 2 Diet Cokes and run 5 kilometers every game night and see if I can survive.
Have you seen DK Metcalf talk about what he eats every day?
No.
He has
insane.
a coffee, and then he eats a giant bag of candy.
Same.
Nice.
1 or 2. He either eats
Nice.
1 or 2 giant bags of candy, and then he eats 1 meal.
Gotta have veneers, right?
And
no
he-
way you're eating that much candy
And
in your teeth.
he is a unit. Right?
Bad candy gets your sugars in.
I just like we all have seen pictures of Gretzky in the 80s.
There's never like
The man wasn't eating 4 hot dogs.
He had a bit but
feel
something
like
like Tyler could eat that and not gain a pound.
Okay, we're all doing
I
it
had
this
4 chocolate covered almonds, and I was good for basically the whole day. So makes you think.
How do
You
you eat just
auditioning for
4
a role in
chocolate?
Oppenheimer 2 or what?
How do you eat just 4?
I just was done. I
I
resealed
would
up
eat
the bag.
4
I
packs
eat
of chocolate.
4
almonds.
million. Like we got a bag in the house right now, and I'm just dreading when it opens because the thing is, I eat them like Tic Tacs, but Tic Tacs are a calorie attack. These things are like 100 calories a nut.
Are Tic Tacs calorie attack too?
No, minor.
no,
It's like,
minor,
that's their whole thing. It's like 1 calorie.
Right. Okay.
Oh, here's your button, by the way, Dan.
Yes.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Yeah, Wayne.
Come on, Wayne. Jay, you're up next. You are Star Mechanical Cold Performer of the Week.
I need to call out an Edmonton personality.
All right.
So last night at the Riverhawks game, we had the home run derby. And the person throwing BP, and I know I have to take accountability for my actions as well, but this was also everyone else in the contest complaining about the same thing. So I'm sorry, Cam Moon. We were begging you to throw it lower. He was throwing it so high, you couldn't get underneath it. And when you did, you couldn't get any power on it. So I have to blame. I'm not putting all the blame on you. I kept saying throw it lower. He came up to me. How do you want to throw? I'm like low, 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 and just couldn't get there. So like, would I have hit a home run if he threw it lower? We'll never know. But that's where my sweet spot was. He asked where it was, and he missed it for everyone. There was this little kid there. He was throwing it over the kid's head.
Yeah.
You saw it.
You just didn't want to get tagged.
Cam Moon has no social media and does not listen to the show, so he'll never know.
Well,
Maybe I'll send the
so
clip to him.
hey man, you do great play-by-play for the Oilers.
Nice
so
guy.
I got a lot of love for you.
BP
and I know
career,
you're a big BP guy, but man, you stitched me last night and everyone else.
What the hell is going on?
You don't have to swing at the pitches though, do you?
There was a
Kinda.
limit. Yeah.
Oh, was
Yeah.
there? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you kinda
Sorry, I didn't
had
know all
to
the
in
rules.
the hack.
Got it. Yeah, fair
Right?
enough.
Like even Aaron who does like he's up in that box.
Yeah.
He was yelling at him to throw it lower.
Oh no.
Like everyone saw. I went back to our box and my buddy's like, "Man, those pitches were high." I'm like, "I know." So it just kind of like I was like, because I really wanted to hit a home run, but if I didn't, I really wanted to come close.
Yeah.
And I hit a couple like decent ones, but they weren't like ones where like, oh, and I wanted that because so many people stayed to watch.
I know.
Hurts. Tyler, for Star Mechanical, you're Cold Performer of the Week.
Mine's one of the Toronto Blue Jays. Never have I been more frustrated by a team that's in a playoff spot. It's miserable watching them right now. That's all.
Expand, please.
Imagine if every game the Oilers played, it was like, oh my God, they got like decent goaltending. Oh, the defense actually played well. They got 3 goals from the third and fourth lines. And then their top 6 just like scored on themselves twice. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. The table setters are doing the job. And then it's just like Vladdy, Springer, Chapman are just like fart noise, fart noise, fart noise. It was very frustrating watching them this week. I'm very upset.
All right.
Oh, that's cold.
How's the new guy?
Is he throwing gas? Is he pitching?
Oh, Hicks. Yeah, Hicks is sick. He had this sinker the other day that was like 101 right on the inside top corner. Oh, disgusting. You can't touch it.
Any chance he stays?
I think he'll be too expensive.
Ah, come on. They got money.
They do.
Let's go. Come on.
New kid making his debut tonight, though. I'm excited for it. Davis Schneider.
My Star Mechanical Cold Performer of the Week is, I wasn't even there, but on behalf of the team, I felt it. Last weekend, we had an Oilers Nation team event at the Elks game. So Kennedy organized it. Everybody got together, went to the Elks game, and the Elks didn't even get a point. That was the second time in 43 days that they had been shut out. And in a league where you get a point for kicking the ball through the end zone, getting shut out is wild. So the Edmonton Elks, you are 0-8 or 0-9. You still get my cold performer of the week, and probably for everybody who's been to a game recently or in the last 3 years.
You're as cold as ice.
The Edmonton Oilers, the next Edmonton-based team to win a game in Commonwealth.
I do love that joke.
It's a great bit.
It's a great bit.
It's coming.
I mean, kind of looking likely.
It's coming.
TBH. All right, let's end off the podcast with some hot performers and some good news from our lives. I'm going to reverse the order. Tyler, you're up first. Your Star Mechanical hot performer of the week.
I'm going to go with the duo of Tyler and Dan for building the IKEA furniture. It was McDavid and Draisaitl-esque, the way Dan was doing all the work. He'd pull everything out of the wrappers, get all sorted up, then just lay it right in front of me, kind of like Draisaitl on the power play. And all I had to do was just finish it off. It was good teamwork, and the
Sounds
chairs
like he's
are comfy.
McDavid and you're Draisaitl.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you made it seem like he was Draisaitl.
No, I said he was McDavid buzzing around, doing all the work, getting everything set up, and then just putting it on a platter for me. I just sat crisscross on the ground and just put all the bolts in, and we were done.
It's getting hot in here.
Jay, you're up next. Your Star Mechanical hot performer of the week.
Tyler's shouting himself out a lot.
He is, yeah. Like he is
Like
giving.
it's good to shout out Dan
Yeah.
for setting it up.
He's
Like,
the
probably didn't have to
MVP.
include himself.
hey.
in
No,
that.
He's the
She
MVP
was
of our
there.
slam ball league. That
I
is.
am.
He
Without a
is
doubt.
now he's Leon Draisaitl also.
Confidence is key.
Welcome back.
I
to
respect
podcast,
the
buddy.
confidence. My hot performer is also baseball themed. Shout out to the Edmonton Riverhawks for an amazing fan experience season. I think they've really, the product is good.
Fantastic.
It is entertaining, and they're seeing it with the numbers. Attendance is just amazing there now. So it's just awesome to see when you put in a good solid effort and kind of understand your community, what kind of fruits it bears. So it's cool.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Nation Dan, you are up next with your Star Mechanical hot performer of the week.
I missed the episode last week, and so my hot performer of the week is just going to go to the Ekholm baby, Leon, for just becoming more and more of an Oilers family in this city. I love to see
Well, he's an Edmontonian.
And
born
Edmonton
and raised.
Oilers need more of that. I know that was done via trade, but now the families can see that the Ekholms are excited to be here, and everybody else should make a big Edmonton Oiler family.
He's a hot guy.
And shout out to them for going to get the Flaufenhausen, which is of course, the crib from IKEA,
There you go.
right?
The
I made that
Fluffenhausen.
up. Probably a bookshelf or something. I have no idea. Could be anything, really. My hot performer of the week is for Star Mechanical. I don't really have anything. Oh, I'm going to Avenged Sevenfold tonight. It's a free concert because I bought the tickets ages ago.
Hell
So
yeah.
shout out to me. I'm going to go spend a bunch of money because I got a free concert to go to.
This is why I'm hot. I'm hot cause I'm fly. You ain't cause you not.
And an honorary one goes to Waz for, again, stretching on Tyler's new furniture.
Feed off the furniture, Waz.
I love it.
Have to re-put it back together again.
For our friends at Oodle Noodle, the Hot Box, Cornerstone Insurance, Wilhock Beef Jerky, and Star Mechanical, I want to thank you for listening. I also want to give a shout out to our friends at Betway. How are you doing on this series against the Orioles?
Manoah has struck out 6 batters in back-to-back starts. Betway has Manoah 6+ Ks plus Jay's money line together at 5-1. That is a good bet. It's a good bet.
Oh,
Provided that you are 19 plus,
That
you can do
is-
so responsibly. You
Come
can tail
on.
Tyler. I am going to tail him on that one as
Let's
well.
go.
I'm loading up the app right now.
Let's have a great weekend, everybody.
Have you listened?